Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast here at the Fountains of the Bellagio, looking at the lovely Allegiant Stadium, Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, between the 49ers and the Chiefs. There we go. All right.
Did you forget?
I'm Ryan Wilson.
By the way, we had our first fumble of the week.
Did he forget it was in the Super Bowl?
Oh, my God.
It's called building suspense.
This is what happens when you've been in Vegas for 48 hours. Everything's a blur. You don't remember anything. Wilson, you need to go to bed early tonight.
Let me get this in before you continue to make fun of me. This hour is brought to you by United Airlines, so I got that one right. And again, we're here at the Fountains of the Bellagio. I'm Ryan Wilson. Super friends John Breach, Will Brinson, and the man who has covered the NFL for more than 30 years, Pete Prisco. Go ahead and make fun of me. You sound like you want to say something.
Well, when they show the scenic, you're supposed to say we're here in Las Vegas. You froze.
I got the Las Vegas part right. I forgot
Okay.
which
I thought you were like pausing for dramatic effect. Somebody was in your ear like, hold. And you're like, no, I just forgot who the Chiefs were.
What's my name? Oh, I'm Ryan Wilson. We're here in Vegas. That was nice.
Here's the thing. I could have played it off, but you bums wouldn't let it slide. So
How
here
would
we
you
are.
possibly play off that
No way.
30-second pregnant pause where you didn't say Chiefs?
All right. Well, here's the thing. We're doing bowl predictions, and Breach, as
By
you
the
know.
way, if that was me, you would have been worried. You
100%.
said old man worried. Old man,
100%.
he's having a moment.
And fun fact, I'm not that much younger than Pete, so fair enough. Here we're in the same boat, Pete. Bowl predictions, the boldier the better, because it's Super Bowl 58. And what's going to happen is we're each going to give 2 bowl predictions, and then the rest of us are going to grade those bowl predictions, again, on boldiness. So let's get this thing started. Pete, as the elder statesman and the wisest one on the set here, we're going to go with you first. I'm going to set this up. So your bowl prediction. Isiah Pacheco rushes for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let me give you some backstory to that, and we'll determine. The Fountains are a little nervous about this bowl prediction.
Yeah, they come on when I tell them to.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, so Pacheco
Fountains.
has not eclipsed 100 yards in 6 postseason games, so that's bold in that sense. No player has rushed for over 100 yards in the Super Bowl since Super Bowl 54, rematch of this game. Damian Williams, who's no longer with the team. And one last thing I'll mention, only 2 Super Bowls have featured 2 players to both eclipse 110 rushing yards. I want to know, Pete, NFL historian, if you can tell me who at least one of these players were. I'll give you the Super Bowl, see if you can tell me who eclipsed the 110 mark.
Wow.
Super Bowl 3.
Super Bowl 3.
I think that's
You
your
know
first,
this,
was that your
That
first
was
Super Bowl? Were you
Matt
covering it?
Snell.
Matt Snell is it. He got it. He got it.
I was just kidding. I didn't think he knew it.
All right, the other one? Let me give you this. I'll give you the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 41.
Or you're forgetting the other guy from Super Bowl 3.
Colts and...
I didn't get the other guy. in Super
Oh,
Bowl
I'm
3.
sorry. Do you know? Yeah, the other guy from Super Bowl 3.
It was.
If you know this.
It wasn't Don McCauley. It was. Wasn't Alan Meat? No, it was. I'm trying to think of which Colt it is. It was.
Watching Pete think out loud should be its own show.
All right.
No,
It was Dan Bickle.
Tom Matt.
Tom Matt.
All right, and the other Super Bowl 41.
No, Tom Matty.
Tom Matty, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Super Bowl 41 was Colts Bears. So you know the 2 running backs who eclipsed 110 yards?
Joseph Adai.
No.
No.
Wrong Colts guy.
Wait.
Dom. Dom Rhodes.
Oh, Dominic Rhodes.
Dominic Rhodes. And who was the Chicago Bear? Had a brother that played in the league as a running back as well.
Yeah.
Went to UVA.
Thomas Jones.
Yeah, Thomas Jones.
All right.
Thomas Jones.
So
Look at you stumping Prisco over here.
it's
Well,
tough.
I would have thought for a second, and it would have been bad TV.
So the Isaiah Pacheco bowl prediction, again,
Like Wilson on the
110,
intro.
110
like
yards.
you on the intro.
Yeah, all right, not that bad. But again, does this say to you that you think the Chiefs are going to lean on the running game because they've been pretty successful with it?
5.6 per rush against the last 2 games for the 49ers. They cannot stop the run. And by the way, I made this pick last week without really doing all my analysis of it. And now I'm more than convinced that this isn't a bold prediction. This is reality.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they're.
So you think they're just going to, I mean, is it like that's how you beat the 49ers? Or is this a you block him, you beat him type of, like, what's the analysis here?
It bothers me a little bit because I think you're taking the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand. But I think when you look at this defensive line, Hargrave and Armstead have been blocked the last 2 weeks. They have not done a great job against the run. And when they don't do a great job against the run, Warner and Greenlaw, who aren't big physical linebackers, they're run and chase guys, get blocked, and that keys the run game. I think the interior of the offensive line is really good. I think they're going to run the ball. I think this is going to be a Pacheco game early, Mahomes game late, and then come back to Pacheco. I think he will rush for over 100 yards.
Well, we do bowl predictions to start the season on the Pick Six podcast, and we do lean towards bold here. Both Brinson and Breach are fans of that, but there has to be some semblance of truth to it, Breach. So let's grade Pete Prisco's bold prediction: Isiah Pacheco, 110 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, I like it because it's not like Pacheco was running for 100 yards in every game. He only did it a couple times this season. He only had one game the entire season with multiple touchdowns, so that doesn't happen often. And, you know, Pete's talking about over here where he doesn't necessarily love the prediction because it takes the ball out of Mahomes' hands. That's okay. Fun fact for you, Pete, the Chiefs went 15-2 over the past 2 seasons when they had a 100-yard rusher and Mahomes threw for at least 200 yards. So Mahomes didn't have to have a huge game if he had that rushing support. Long story short, I'm giving Pete a B+.
Oh,
I'm going to double down to the B+ too. No player has rushed for over 100 yards in the Super Bowl since Damian Williams of the Chiefs.
Oh, we just
said that.
I know, against the 49ers. I wouldn't pay attention to Ryan. But I think I agree with you. I think that they're going to try and pound the ball. I think this leans into the under as well if they're running Pacheco. And I think particularly the first half under. We talked about that earlier in the week, how maybe even look for like 24.5 if you can find it. I haven't looked to see exactly what it is right now. But yeah, give it a B+.
B+ from you. Pete, I was going to give you an A+, and then you made fun of me, so I'm going to give you an A-.
Ooh.
All right.
Is that legal?
No,
we just make
it's
the
not.
rules as
We're
we go.
in Vegas.
That's true.
You can do whatever
Nothing's
you want.
legal here.
All right, next up for Petey. Chris Jones has 3 sacks. And let me set this up for you because, Breach, these are some crazy numbers, and this might be bold even by you and Brinson standards here. How many sacks do you think Chris Jones had in the previous 2 Super Bowls?
1.
0.
Wow, 0. I knew it was low, and I thought it would be at least 1. Wow.
Most sacks in a single Super Bowl, my guy, L.C. Greenwood, had 4 in Super Bowl 10. Chris Jones does have 2.5 sacks in the postseason in 19 games. And a little more trivia for you by courtesy of producer Devo here, Petey. Players with 3 sacks in a single Super Bowl, there are 5 of them. Can you name one off the top of your head?
I have him on the paper. I would have named Grady Jarrett because he was my guy coming out of Clemson.
Better than team.
Huh?
He was on the better than
He was the
team.
captain.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And you can see there on the graphic, Coney Ely
He never forgot either.
the lone shining star in that Panthers loss.
Okay. Coney Ely got sacks because they were playing from behind, wasn't that? Yeah, he careered that day, Coney Ely. He never was lived up to it. Darnell Dockett was outstanding in that game. Reggie White, we all know that story. People don't remember Willie Davis. I was a kid, but I remember him. He was nasty. So,
let me ask you about Chris Jones, though, having 3 sacks. At the beginning of the year, he was holding out for more money. That's quite the journey going from a guy. You figured at some point he was play. I know guys aren't going to hold out. They're going to show up at some point. He did, but I think it's amazing to get to where he started to where he is because he's been so important to the middle of that Chiefs defense.
well, and it's not just the middle because they put him on the outside now too, and he can rush from the outside. I think he's the ultimate game wrecker. I really do, and he shows up in big games. You know, when we hear people say they show up in big games, does that mean you don't show up in the other games? Well, I mean, Chris Jones has a tendency to do that, and he hadn't had a great year this year. I'll be honest with you, he hadn't been the usual Chris Jones in terms of, particularly in the run defense. But I think this is the moment. He's a free agent after the season. This is the highlight for him. Come get me. If the Chiefs don't want me and don't want to pay me, this is what you're going to get. So I think he has a big day. Plus, I think the right side of the.
Does he have an incentive for winning the Super Bowl? Or has he maxed out his incentive?
I think he maxed out.
He hit his sack incentive at the end of the season and did a whole celebration.
Right, because the most important thing isn't the ring, it's the money.
It's the money, as Briscoe always says.
Yep.
We're in Vegas, the capital of money.
But you want to lean into the money. He is a free agent.
Right.
And if he goes out and has a monster Super Bowl and has 3 sacks and they beat the 49ers, he's going to get real paid.
Feliciano at right guard, good in the run game, not great in pass protection. McKivitz, the right tackle, okay. And I think they will take him and put him over there and take advantage of those guys.
All right, Brinson, give old PD a grade there. Chris Jones has 3 sacks.
It's pretty wild that of these 3 sack games, 2 of the 5 have come in the last 7 years. You know, that's crazy. I don't know that that's necessarily a trend. It may be a thing where we're just dropping back more, and you see that happen. But you know, it's not like not like the Broncos were dropping back all that much. I'll give it a B+ again.
And two of the guys that have 3 sacks are interior rushers. Dockett,
that is odd. Yeah.
Dockett and Jarrett. They're not pure edge rushers.
Coney Ely out of nowhere.
Prisco, I'm going to give you an S with
What?
a line through it because that's a $sign, like you guys said. Chris Jones is going to get paid big time if he meets his bowl prediction, gets to 3 sacks. The one thing I like about Prisco's prediction is that Chris Jones did not have 3 sacks in a single game this year. So he would be getting a season high. As Prisco said, he did struggle a little bit during the regular season. Brock Purdy only got sacked 3 or more times in 4 different games. No player got 3 sacks on him this season. So I like this prediction. I'm going to give it an A-.
Chiefs are #1 in pass rush rate, both 4-man and when they bring pressure.
I think an A- is the right grade, Breach. I will agree with you on that.
Yes.
Peter, you did pretty good. Better than you did at Arizona State, I would imagine.
Well, since I got all A's at ASU, I didn't get all A's here, so I didn't do as well as I did at ASU. You think I really got all A's? Come on.
A's for absent.
No.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to move to Johnny Breach, do his grades right after this.
D.
Sports HQ Picks Podcast.